Hey everyone, back with the next episode of Neon Genesis Evangelion series, and we're going into episode 8. And it's an important episode because we're going to be introduced not only to a new Evangelion unit 2, but we're also going to have two major characters being introduced in this episode. One more discreetly than the next, and we're going to have a basic subplot that's going to be coming into it. Once again, the first part of this episode is going to be called Asuka Arrives in Japan. This part of the episode is more or less the introduction of the two characters who are new to the series. Of course, the first one is going to be the fiery redhead who drives a lot of the plot and is the second child.
He's the second.
She's the second. The second child, which is none other than Oscar Langley Soryu. Basically, this half of the episode is her coming. Nerve made an agreement with the Germany company to have Unit 2 sent to to Japan to help Nerve out. It's being taken on a battleship. There's a lot of interaction between Misato and the captain because they have different ideologies, obviously, because Misato works for Nerve and the captain is an old school guy who is literally played by an old man. Misato decides to take Suzuhara and Kensuke because she feels sorry for them, that they're stuck up in the mountains because much of New Tokyo is being, rebuilt because of the last couple of angel attacks. So basically what happens is it's a lot of introduction. Also, we get to see the other major player who does a lot kind of in this episode in the shadows and will become a major player from here on in, and that's none other than Ryoji Kaji, who is, that we learn through this episode, has a little bit of backstory with Misato Katsuragi, but this episode will just explore a little bit and it will get some good comical moments through their interactions and kind of how Kaji explains to Shinji a little bit about Misato and Kaji's relationship in the past. So we have that part of the episode, and the episode kind of ends up with Asuka being one of her main traits is she's very stubborn and that she wants to think she's the best. So she finds out that Shinji, through his first piloting of Ava 1 in episode 1, had a tremendous sync ratio without training. And this is something that's kind of important because Asuka likes to think she is number one. So what she does is she takes Shinji down into one of the ships to show him what Unit 2 looks like. All of a sudden, Angels attacks, and then we have actually kind of one of the shorter parts of the first series because it ends there, and then we go into Act 2, which is called Asuka Strikes. Asuka Strikes is basically Asuka trying to show off to Shinji that she is the best pilot in the world. So, how not only does she try to do it by defeating the Sixth Angel by herself, but she does it by having Shinji join in on it. As in, she has Shinji be in the Unit 2 while she's piloting it. And then they have a fight with the Sixth Angel. this episode kind of also includes a interesting scene where you kind of see where Kaji is not who he seems. He's an outside character, and he does a lot of different things, and we'll go into that as it happens. But yeah, the sixth angel attacks. Asuka and Shinji are fighting it. There's a really cool pose where the second Unit 2 is finally revealed wholly with this garb over it because it's the draping that was covering it on the ship. And they have a good fight with the sixth angel. You know where this is going. There's an interesting part though at the very end because Gendo talks to Kaji, and there's a little bit there earlier in the episode where they question why the angel is attacking the ships. Everyone automatically assumes it's because of Unit 2, but we get a little bit of hint at the end that it wasn't because of Unit 2. It was because of the thing that Kaji was protecting. Unbeknownst to everyone, Kaji was holding literally the first angel. He was holding an embryo of Adam. And at the end of the episode, he delivers it to Gendo. So, that's kind of how this episode ends. We get introduced to two new characters, Kaji and Asuka. And the episode ends kind of in an interesting way because not only is Unit 2 being delivered to Japan, actually so is Asuka. And the episode has this little charmy quirkiness where everybody's in the school. Toji, Shinji, Suzuhara. No, Toji is Suzuhara. Kinsuke are all together, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have to worry about Asuka anymore." And then she comes into the episode and says one of my favorite lines in this episode, where she just comes into the room and she introduces herself to the class and goes, "Asuka Langley Soryu, charmed." End show. See you next time for episode 9.